What you can do to conquer your fear. Now, it's natural to experience a certain level of nervousness when it comes to learning how to drive or when doing your test. But what if the thought of getting into a car makes you physically want to get sick?
A phobia of driving is something that our next guest, Paul Boylan, has come across often in his time as a driving instructor. So much so, in fact, that he started his own driving school specifically geared to do with an extreme fear. Very good morning to you, Paul.
Thanks for having me.
You've been an instructor, what, for about 17 years?
17 years this year, yeah.
And you've seen during that time a lot of people coming to you completely stressed out when it comes to learning how to drive. So much so that you were saying physically getting sick, like before they get into the car.
It starts before they can get into the car. The stress can start before they get into the car. But it's the thoughts of actually being in control of the car, or actually moving around in the car, or coming to a traffic light or a roundabout, or just moving down the road can make them.
That just tips them over.
Them over, yeah.
So you decided to set up your own company specifically to help people with these phobias.
Well, in the 17 years I've had Park School of Motoring for nearly 9 years now, in the 17 years that I've been teaching. But I splintered off into the Fear of Driving program in the last 4 months that I've been really working on that. But I've been doing it for 17 years, but just as a separate entity. Yeah. Just went into that then. So we have fearofdriving.ie.
And are there many people who come to you that are just that petrified or that stressed out that they can't, and what are the reasons? Because
I do what I do, that's the people that come to me, because they seek me out or I seek them out, whichever way. But it's about the people that get stressed are the people that may have had an issue previously, where somebody might be telling them that they're too nervous to drive, or maybe their mom or dad were too nervous to drive, or maybe a brother or sister had some stress levels and they feed off that then, or they may have had an accident, or they may have had an issue in driving that created the stress.
Okay. Well, stress, of course, is the operative word here. So are there different levels of stress?
Hugely.
Different levels of fears?
Hugely. People that learn how to drive normally have a normal level of fear associated with controlling the vehicle. But when it comes to that fear of driving, or that phobia about driving, the stress levels can really kind of debilitate them from getting into the car. You know?
So that in turn means that no two people are the same when it comes to
absolutely not
treating them.
Yeah.
You can't just have a standard practice.
You can, but people that fall through the cracks are the people that go through the standard practice for, I suppose, for a registered ADI, which is an approved driving instructor, would go through the standard practice. But the people that fall through the cracks would blame themselves for not listening to the instructor, or they didn't hear, or, like I say, they'll never do it, they'll never achieve it. So.
Okay. So that's exactly what I'm saying, that because of these people have different levels of stress, then you will have to make your moves and make your diagnosis and your prognosis from different angles each time.
Absolutely. The only thing that stays the same really is on the Fear of Driving program is they talk to me on the phone for 10 or 15 minutes and then they get an hour face to face. So we wouldn't even move the car at that point. We wouldn't even be in the car at that point. It's just to try and discover where the issue is. And then on the structured program then, from that point, so the actual client is in control of the whole process. So they could finish it at the face-to-face meeting and say, no, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Or they can continue on for whatever amount of sessions that they need. So at the moment the program works over 1 month or 2 month sessions. So it's 8 1-hour sessions or 16 1-hour sessions.
So would a lot of it be then, I suppose, if somebody is so petrified when they're sitting there in front of the steering wheel, you'd kind of talk, like them not even driving, not even turning on the car, initially you'd probably be just talking them through the whole psychology of it?
Well, your brain controls your body. So if we can fix it in your head first, it'll transfer to your feet and your hands. And your car is just an extension of your feet and your hands. Where a lot of people try to control the car, if you control your feet and your hands, well, the car will just react. But that has to come through from your head. So in talking to them, it creates that link between what they're thinking to what their feet and their hands are doing to what the car does. So it gives them great confidence and great understanding and definite control over the situation.
Okay. Well, people trying to control the car, you liken it, when you're talking with these people, to just walking.
Just walking on a busy street. Walk down Grafton Street and you choose the speed you walk at. You choose how close people are to you. You choose how close you get to people. You choose where you turn, that's your choice, but it's the same process. But once you put it into a car, it becomes this machine that you have to control.
Who'd you get coming to you? Men, women, young, old? And
men, women, young, old,
Any cross-section, basically?
Completely across the board.
And do they have any common problem that they, is there something that you've seen?
They may carry stress or anxiousness through their life anyway. And it just kind of, the emotion is associated with driving then. So when we talk and go through the process, the benefit to them is that they can take the skills from driving and put them back into the other aspect of their life and go, well, I have a choice here. I have things that I can choose to do or not to do.
You were telling us about one particular lady that came to see you. You don't have to name names. What did you do for her? What was the problem she was experiencing?
Where I met her was she was doing a test, and she had tried the test and attempted the test, but the actual stress was causing problems between her and her husband because they were out in the car. He was in the car with her trying to help her along, but they were fighting. She couldn't see when she was driving, basically. She couldn't focus. So in the first time that I met her, like that, we never moved the vehicle. We just found out what the issue was. But over the sessions that she did, she gained the control and the confidence to actually do a test, pass a test, and the difference, I've never seen joy like it. And it's part of the job that I love because you get to be involved in that part of the process.
And you made reference to it just a few minutes ago, somebody who's been involved in an awful accident and developed their fear of driving from that. What do you do for them?
Without medical or anything like that, it's basically
what
just the emotion, say the lack of control. So one of the things I would work a lot is how your eyes give your brain information, and that is transferred through to your hands. So if you're driving on the street and a bus is coming towards you, and you look at the bus, you will drive towards the bus. Now if a bus hits you or a blue car hits you, and if you focus on that, well then your hands will be drawn towards it, so your car will be drawn towards it. So if you can refocus your vision as to what to look at and what not to look at, there's a sense of control then. So if I don't look at something, it's not going to get any bigger, plus I'm going to head in that direction away from it rather than towards it.
Anticipation is a big thing.
Absolutely.
People who have a fear of driving, it's not so much a fear of them being out of control, it's the other person on the road becoming out of control. So that's where the anticipation comes in.
Absolutely. And again, if you go back to walking on a busy street, you have this personal space around you that you don't let people into. But it's not their choice, it's your choice not to let them in. So if you sit close to somebody, you'll move away if you don't like being so close. So it's creating that space in a car, space in front and space behind, by controlling speed and by controlling position and giving yourself time to actually make the choices and make the decisions that you need when you're driving.
You're not a fan of this expect the unexpected?
Personally, if you expect it, it's not unexpected. So if you're going out with that frame of mind that when you leave the house it's raining, it's windy, how's that going to impact on other people? How's it going to impact on me? So it's not unexpected. So you're out there actually being involved in the process. It's a conscious thing, more a proactive way of driving, I suppose.
Finally, can you cure everybody? I mean, have you put everybody on the roads, or have you got any cases that you just haven't been able to?
To date, if you take confidence, control and understanding, I've had 100% success.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic.
Fear of driving.ie?
That's us.
And the sessions run for how long?
They're 1 hour sessions. They're structured. They can be 1 hour, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
They're structured because of
it all depends on the person, whether it's going to be 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 16 weeks.
Totally controlled with them, totally.
Brilliant. Okay, that's great.
Paul,
Well, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.